You're watching The Platform, a place where your voices can be acknowledged as we discuss topics revolving around the nerd community and geek culture. I'm Joshua, aka Graham Kidden, and today I'm speaking with Rachel, aka Talk QWERTY to Me, which is one of the greatest screen names I've ever heard. How you doing, Rachel?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
I am good. Again, very bright light in my face, but I am good. First off, before we discuss anything, what was the screen name about? I can't remember if I've ever asked. But how did you come up with
that? Well, I love a pun. I can't get around it. There's just nothing better. And it was I didn't used to have a funny, quirky screen name. It was always just like Rach, and that was it. It was always just something very basic. And I was just sitting and literally just staring at my keyboard, and I was like, QWERTY keyboard.
What can I do with it?
What can I'm like, there's something there. And my partner was sitting next to us. I went, talk QWERTY to me. He was like, oh my God. I was like, I'm taking it. It's mine.
It's like the fact that it doesn't use the word dirty almost makes it dirtier.
Yeah.
But then it makes it innocent at the same time. Like it's such a
yeah, and I love talking tech and stuff like that as well. So I'm like, there's like that was like people can talk QWERTY to me all the time, and then it's like that. I can't even remember the song. I know it's called Talk Dirty to Me, but it's that little tune whenever anyone hears it, and that's the song that they sing.
I know what you're talking of, but I cannot remember it at all. Like my mind knows it, but it doesn't know it.
That's the only bit that I know is that. And it's like people will be watching this, they'd be like, it's this, God.
And we're just like, I know there's chords involved.
Yeah.
So I came across you initially either on Twitch or Insta, and I don't remember exactly, but I'm like 97% sure I saw the screen name first, and I was like, I need to know what this person's about.
Yep.
Which is cool.
Well, thank you very much.
You're most welcome. But what I wanted to discuss today, so I say this like every time, but previously I would think of questions and I would say, who can I get to help me answer this question? Which was great. But now I reach out to people. If anyone says yes, I'd love to jump on. Then I think of a question for them. So all my questions are tailored, so I want everyone to feel special. But so the question I have for you, or the question I'd like to discuss today is, and hopefully you're someone with a good level of self-esteem and you can take this, but I would class you as an attractive woman. Now, you're welcome. And this sucks because this is obviously audio, so anyone might be watching like, now I need to see what does she look like. Because all guys are secretly filthy, but no. But basically, so my question's this: on the grand scheme of things, it's like, oh, cool, like, oh, do you know this person? Yeah, she games. Oh, she's hot. Check her out. I'm not gonna lie and say I haven't said that before. That's how I talk. Because someone's hot, I'm like, shut them out. They're hot. Not because they're hot, but it adds to it. It's like seasoning.
Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense.
But is there a downside to that as a female? Because I remember growing up, especially in like geek culture and nerdy stuff, there's this negative connotation of, okay, that person's pretty. They said they're into games. They're lying. They're probably a prostitute in OnlyFans. So they're probably, well, I'm older than OnlyFans, but if there's always this thing of, no, they're not serious. It's a gimmick. It's a lie. So do you find that's gone, or do you find in this day and age we still have that thing of people don't take me seriously because I'm a female, and because they might deem me as pretty, I'm taken less seriously?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there is a stereotype with it, and I think it'll always be that way. It's a bit of a double-edged sword, because it's like if I say that I play games, they're like, you're a girl and you play that, well, you must be shit at it. And it's like, and it's just always like that. And then people are like, oh, it's just banter. I'm like, but you would never say that to a guy. You just wouldn't. And I've been called fake a lot of times when I say that I enjoy playing games. Like can't remember a time in my life where I've not been playing games. And they're like, oh, you're just doing it to get in with the boys because it's not something that girls typically talk to men about and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh man, it's like, it's like from that perspective, yeah, it's always been that way. And it still is that way now, especially like I have a lot of girlfriends that aren't into the things that I'm into, and they like the things that I'm not so keen on, you know. and I like the things that their boyfriends like. So I meet their, like, if we do like couples things, like if I go out with my partner and my friend brings her partner, and then the three of us will start talking about games, and then my friend feels left out and she's like, well, why can't you talk about like something more feminine? Like it's just like you just end up talking to my man about things that he's interested in. And I'm like, I'm sorry, like I don't mean it like that. And I always think it's a very good bonding thing, but some people don't necessarily take it that way. So yeah, there's some things that come with it. Yeah, for sure.
There was one thing you said that I found fascinating. You said, so some females take it as, oh, you're using it to get in with the boys. So is there almost a jealousy factor from other females sometimes? Well, you're trying to, you know, you can relate to them. So you know, you think you're nice, you know, talking to them about Call of Duty. Is that a thing?
I don't know. I think it's more, if it's girls that I don't know very well, I would say they would probably, like, they might feel like a little bit threatened but I think it's the same like with sports as well. Like if you talk to a man about, oh, did you watch the match at the weekend? And they're like, oh, what is she doing? Like she's trying to like fit in with like the things that aren't like typical, whereas those things to me are very typical. So yeah,
it's weird though, because so basically as a guy, as a heterosexual guy in today's society, I think when the shoe's on the other foot, you are not a threat at all. You know, if I bond with one of my friends' girlfriends talking about geeky stuff that she relates to, my male friends, they're not annoyed. They don't see it as a threat. If anything, they're just like, bro, you sure you're not gay? You know, it's like, you know, my girlfriend brought this up and, you know, you guys spent an hour talking about your favorite song in Pocahontas. I'm like, I just happen to like the film, you know, like it's not, from the male perspective, it's not a threat at all. In fact, it's the opposite. You know,
absolutely.
Because if someone's like, he messages your girlfriend a lot and they're like, oh no, bro, don't worry, they speak about Disney. Like, you know, because I just genuinely like Disney. But guys don't get that. So it's interesting to hear from the other perspective. It's like, well, no, he said there was a new game coming out and she knew what it was. And, you know, that's not on. It's weird.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, like I say, it's a bit of a funny one because like I don't want to like put a label on it and say, oh, all women are threatened by me, because that's absolutely not the case. But I think it's a difficult one where it's like a conversation topic that, like, because if I've not met my friend's boyfriend before and he plays games, I'm like, right, that's my way in, that is how we are gonna. But if it's not that, it's talking about music. That's my side goal. So it's games. Oh, don't play games. Oh, what kind of music do you like? They're like my two main things that I'd go to, because I like, as much as I love sport, like, God, I don't want to talk about that for any longer than 20 minutes. It's like and I support Newcastle, man. I'm like, it's a depressing conversation sometimes.
See, I've never liked sport, and growing up, I think it makes a lot more sense now and people more get it now. But I think when I was younger, even you know, even if we're going the macho stereotypes or the masculine stereotypes, playing games compared to all the other boyish things still wasn't cool. So, you know, your friends like, oh, you know, Arsenal's playing Man U, Josh, you excited? And I'm like, no, because I'm playing Mario. And it was, you know, people were just like, you're such a loser, you know. Whereas the older I get, I find that, you know, it's not a pretense. I'm not doing it to be cool. Gamers can just bond in like 2 seconds. Now, compared to every other, you know, social thing on the planet, gaming is as simple as, oh, Rach, I heard you play Destiny. What rank are you? That's it. You are now friends. It's, you know.
Yeah, literally. And I was just chatting with a guy on Instagram the other day, and he was doing a Q&A thing, and someone had asked him, what is the game that you've spent the most time on? And he said that he'd sunk like 2,000 hours into Destiny. And I messaged and I was like, Hunt, I'm in here, hi. And then he was like, did we just become best friends? Like, you know, our stepbrothers. And he was like, sent that gift, like, did we just become best friends?
That's what I'm thinking of.
And it literally was just as simple as that. And like, whereas when it's sports, it's like, oh, what team do you support? And it's like, not like with the way that the community is at the minute, it's not like, oh, do you play PlayStation? Do you play Xbox? Do you play PC? Do you play this? Do you play that? It's just like everyone's just a part of this whole wonderful thing together, and it's awesome. It's great.
Do you know what? That's a great point. I didn't really take time to think about it, but yeah, I think that has somewhat died down throughout the years. Now it's just, do you play games? As opposed
what games
to
do you play?
Yeah, you know, what platform do you play? Well, you're not a gamer. I mean, I'm still a bit of a punk in terms of, if I ask you if you play games and you say FIFA or Call of Duty, and that's all you contribute to the conversation, in my head, you're still not a gamer.
Yeah.
You know, and it sounds so pretentious, but it's like someone saying, I really appreciate the yeah, I can't say words. I can't. You go. I can't talk.
No, I know what you mean though, because FIFA and COD, FIFA more so, it's just doing the same thing over and over. There's no story, there's no DLC to it, there's not really like too much of a challenge. You're just kind of doing the same thing over and over and over again, which is when people say to me like, what games do you play? I'm like, anything but FIFA. Because I play a looter shooter, like that's my main, but it has a story, it has lore, it has expansions, it has like, there's more to it. Whereas I don't know, I feel like, because I used to be an avid Call of Duty player, like when I used to play on console, like I spent a lot of hours. Or like this was like probably, oh my god, like 10 years ago. God, that makes me feel so old. Like 10 12 years ago, like that was all I played. But that was when I used to have I didn't have talk quoted to me then. It was just like Rach 92 or something ridiculously basic, and then it would be just guys like, what's your Snapchat? You're a girl. What's your Snapchat? What's your MySpace? What's this? No, remember MySpace? Jesus Christ. What's this? And I'm like, oh, like, no, mate. And then getting like chat up lines like, you a parking ticket because you've got fine written all over you. And I'm like,
that's not the worst chat up line I've heard. It's all right.
Yeah, but it's just, I'm just like, oh, sorry, like, I'm not interested. Like, you're probably 12 years old. Like, I'm sorry. And then it's like, get back in the kitchen. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, well, you know.
You know what? As crazy as it sounds, I almost get that sexist treatment towards women in gaming, and not because I condone it, and it's not because any female deserves it, but again, growing up, first off, if 80% of the stuff I say relates to growing up, how old does that make me? But again, growing up, I find it was very hard to find females who game to a genuine, and that's not to say they weren't out there, I just didn't encounter them. You know, then we got this social media and internet boom, and unfortunately, or fortunately, depending how you look at it, a lot of females realized, wait, this is a man's world and I'm a woman. All I need to do is look sexy and I can make it. Do you know what? The older I get, I don't even blame people who do that. If I could like whip out my shoulder and get views, I think I'd do it. I'm gonna be honest. But you know, gaming played into that, and you got, you know, hashtag gamer girl and all this. And I think it got to a point where it was so rare for someone to meet a female who played games, who was genuinely about the games, that when you do, there is a part of you that just becomes irrational, and you do really sexualize them. And I'm definitely guilty of that one, growing up, because it wasn't even the idea that I wanted to make this person feel uncomfortable, but I was so fascinated. It was just like, oh no, wait, you're genuinely into games. This isn't for clout. We can talk about Zelda. Oh my gosh, she's so sexy. And you're falling in love on the spot because you've never had this before. It's like, we can talk about this, you know, and especially if I met a female and she educated me on games, oh my gosh, I was, you know, I'd need to get some tissues. It was messy. I was just like, oh my gosh. She told me about a secret boss battle. You know, it was just amazing. And I think it's wrong. It's very wrong. But I do get, especially from the with the younger males, why they just lose their minds, and it's like, and they're, you know, now the game's on pause and I'm trying to chat you up because it's just like, oh, I need you now. This is, and obviously I'm assuming, you know, when that one becomes 10 or becomes 50, then it's just, guys are creeps. So I get it. I completely get it. But it's well,
that just sounds like my dating life, like when I was single and dating, and they'd be like, oh, what do you do for fun? And I'm like, oh, I play games. And the guys would just lose their shit. And it's like, and then it's like, it's all they want to talk to you about. That's like the only thing. It's because it's so, like, if they do as well, because otherwise they'd be like, oh, you play games, like, are you not like in your 20s, like nearly 30? I'm like, well, yeah. And they're like, oh, who has time for that? And I'm like, I do.
Everyone.
But if there's someone who has the same interest as me, and they're like, what, you play games? Oh my God. And like, and it is like the only conversation topic, and they're like, oh my God, are you like a real person? And I'm like, yes. They were like, are you catfishing me? That's like, that would be like the thing. It's like, this is a catfish, it's a trap. That's like, that would be like where it would go from. And then I would make a Star Wars reference. I'm like, oh my God, she likes Star Wars. Oh, what? And then like, and it would just be like this whole meltdown. And it's like, I feel like, I don't know, like maybe if I wasn't as attractive, it wouldn't be as big a deal. And I think it's just like a stereotype that comes with, oh, like someone who's like decent looking, that can, because I can doll myself up, like I can make myself look really nice. And it's like, oh, but if I'm going out somewhere, it's like, I can make an effort, like every now and again I can make an effort, but yeah, like if I go out, it's like they wouldn't like pick me and say, oh, I bet you she stays home all day and plays games. It's like, it's not like that kind of appearance. Whereas I think it's more, and I think it's the same with men as well. Like you just assume that people that stay indoors and play games all day are like overweight, shoving things in that face. They've got crumbs all over their keyboard.
I mean, for me, that is the case, to be fair. I'm working on it.
But like, oh my God, I'm trying to think of that guy off South Park, and it's like a whole
World Warcraft guy.
Yes, and he just like sits in front of it. I think that's what they just, when people picture it, if it's not their world, they just have like this whole assumption and idea in their minds, and then it's like, oh wait, like she looks like she has a social life, but she doesn't. My social life is on Discord, on Instagram, with my folk, with my fellow people.
And it's common though, isn't it? You know?
Yeah.
Like having your own zone, like you said, your people, it's like, no, they get me, you know?
Yeah.
They understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Me.
Yeah, they're my folk.
Yeah. And it's,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's relaxing, it's calming, it's something that's just automatically understood. Like you don't need to explain to someone why you do it. What are you doing this weekend? Yeah, I've just got a few video games I'm catching up on. I understand. That's it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
But a lot of my friends, even to this day, don't understand. And it's not because they, look down on what I do or they're against it. It's just not their thing, which I understand because I'm in my 30s. So it's a bit odd for a lot of people. If they're like, oh, you coming out on a weekend? I'm like, actually, I just bought Pokemon. I'm thinking I might level up soon. I've gonna catch a shiny. Nobody wants to hear that. Like, Josh isn't coming. He's catching a shiny. He said, I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
I've caught 2 now, by the way, people. I've caught 2.
Oh, well done.
Still got shinies and nasties.
And that's the same with me. Like I was just talking to my brother the other day. I was catching up with him, and he used to play games when he was younger. He loved Halo, but like now he's not. It's just he doesn't game at all. He used to when he was little, but not anymore. And he said to me, he's like, oh, so you got like anything planned, like anything coming up? And I'm like, oh yeah. I was like, I've took 3 days off work, so I'm having like a 5-day weekend, like at the end of the month. And he's like, oh yeah, what you doing? I'm like, oh, Destiny Witch Queen comes out, so I've literally taken time off to play it because
I get it.
Like, and he's like, you are such a loser, and I'm like, I know. He's like, you're such a nerd. I'm like, I know.
I get it.
Yeah, 5 days. I'm like 5 days. Like I should be able to hit like the highest level. Like if I and I'll be streaming like 12 hours a day, like at least, like getting this all done, going through the whole campaign, going in reset time. So like, because it's in Australia, I'll be starting at like 3 o'clock in the morning till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, I need time off work for this. Like I can't do both. It's
crazy because in my head, when I hear that, even from another gamer, I'm like, oh wow, that's intense. And when I look back and I'm like, no, there's been a certain games where I've just had like crazy sessions. But for me, it was, even as a gamer, the more nerdy ones. So the games I put the most hours into is MH4U, so Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate on the 3DS, Monster Hunter World on P4, Pokemon X and Y on 3DS, or 3DS, and then no, that was it. Pokemon and Monster Hunter. They're the games where I have put like hours.
I think my 1,000-hour games will be Witcher 3, Skyrim.
I really can't get into it. I've tried so hard.
What, Witcher or Skyrim?
Witcher, I
can't.
It's
so good.
I love the world.
So good.
I'm gonna be that guy. I've seen the show. I love the show. But
yeah, I just when I first played it, it took me, I think I had to start over like maybe like 3 or 4 times, and then it was just one time like that I started it again, it just clicked, and then I just couldn't get us away from it. I just absolutely loved it. But yeah, like those
slow,
two for sure.
Very slow pacing, I think.
It picks up good though. Once you get the skill again, it gets real good.
Okay. I do love
once you get a feel for it, yeah.
I love like the look of it, and I got to a mission and I was like, it's like, go and kill this monster in the field, and I'm like, oh great, it's gonna be a little snake or something. And then
is it the griffin?
Yeah, and I'm just like, what am I playing? Where did this come from? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I definitely love that, the world, and it does a great job of blending. So some games are so serious that when they introduce the monsters, it feels like, well, no, we can't go from being realistic to, I'm fighting a giraffe man or something. But Witcher blends it nicely. You believe that in this world, this monster is here. So it's one of those games where I completely get why people love it, but I just, I can't vibe. Maybe one day, who knows, years from now. That's what happened with me in Persona. So
you never know. But yeah, they were the two. And then I did play Destiny when it first came out, like, oh god, when did it come out? I was gonna say 2014 maybe, so like quite a while ago. Like, so it's been out for 8 years. And I played it before I started traveling, and I played for about 18 months, and then I was like, right, that's it, I'm gonna go traveling. Quit my job, sold my car, went and did all of the stuff, and then eventually settled, and I was like, this is Destiny 2 now, I think I'm gonna get that. And then that was like June, it was in the pandemic, so it was like June 2020 that I got it, and I've literally I've never sank so many hours into a game. Like, I must be at like 2,000 hours now, but I've got like a clan, and like we are like quite hardcore, like with any new content that's coming out. It's like we want to be like the first people, we want to be the first in the world, like we want to like be like with all of the best players, we want to be like we want to be on that level. So when this comes out, and they're like, you're gonna have to like really put the time in, because we want to get like to the highest level as possible to be able to do all of this end game content that's never been seen before. And I'm like, yep, that's 5 days off work done, like just as easy as that.
I get that. I feel like you need to now as well, and this is another thing people don't get unless they're gaming as well. But there's a lot of, well, why do you need to see this film as soon as it comes out? Why do you need to play this when it comes out? And I'm trying to explain, we live in the age of YouTube. If I don't complete it immediately, the world will complete it for me.
Exactly. And this is the thing with these like world firsts, like it'll just be all over Twitch, and then everyone will know how to do it. It's like, I want to go in blind and be able to try and figure out how to do this with a team of people that I love playing with. And that's like the best part of the game. It's like that's the best part of Destiny, in my opinion, is the teamwork and the mechanics and the puzzles and things like that you work through as a group. It's not just PvP, it's not just shooting and killing people. There's like a lot more to it than that, and it requires a lot of work. So like, it's the only game that I've ever been that dedicated to, that I'm like, I go to midnight launches and stuff like that, but like taking a 5-day weekend, that's not it's not a common thing for me. I'm more of a midnight launch and a sick day, and then like that's it. Depending on when it drops, it depends how much, like, because Horizon Forbidden West is going to be out on the 17th, I think.
A game that I don't want to play, which is weird.
Wow.
You know what? I have complete faith that it's going to be amazing, but I'm at a weird.
Isn't it? It's scary.
it's one, it's the hype, and two, I'm at such a weird stage. My brain turns off now in terms of I'll play something, and once I put it down, I'm like, okay, cool. I've had my time with this world, and that's it. Like I haven't even played the DLC for Horizon. I haven't. In my head, I'm like, no, but I played it. So even though I know how great this one looks, my brain's just still like, yeah, but we've been in that world already.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It's because I've got such a backlog of games as well, but there's all of these new games that are coming out, and it started with Last of Us 2. Like I hadn't finished Last of Us 1. So I was like, well, I'm not buying Last of Us 2 until I finish Last of Us 1. And then God of War Ragnarok was announced. And I was like, well, I need to finish God of War before I get God of War Ragnarok. And then Horizon Forbidden West, I was like, oh my God, I haven't finished that either. So I played God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Last of Us, which are like games that have been out for so long that I started. Spider-Man as well. I haven't bought Miles Morales because I want to finish Spider-Man. And it's like all of these games that I'm like, I've started playing them, but I'm just going to start from scratch and do it all again. And I'm like, oh, I'm so glad that I did though. I'm like, that's so good. And now I'm like, and because that all still so fresh in my mind. And this is the year that they're going to be getting released. And I'm like, oh, I'm so ready. I still need to get Last of Us 2, but like the rest of them, I'm like, oh, so
I get
excited.
that though. Like the idea of having it fresh. And I think once it's not fresh, it's easier for me to dismiss the sequel because I played Horizon so long ago. So now I'm like, I don't even remember what happened. I remember it was fun. Same with God of War.
Yeah, that's me with anime as well. Like if a new season of something's coming out and I'm like, oh, I've not watched it in a year, I'm gonna have to like watch like the last few episodes of the last season to like jog my memory. You've got to like delve back into it. It's the same kind of thing. It's like you just need to like, even if you just like go into the game and play like the last 2 hours of it or something, just to be able to like to jog your memory. I'm like that with most things, like TV shows, especially like anime where there's like huge gaps. But now the animes that I'm watching are all finished, so I'm just binging them, except Attack on Titan. But that's a whole other story.
This is what I was saying to you, bro. I can only do short anime now. It's just I can't. It's just, if people are like, check this out, I'm like, great. How long is it? They're like, I don't know. It should be finished 2 decades from now. I'm like, nope, no. People want to give me like 300 episode recommendations, and if it's more than 50 episodes, do not tell me. I'm not interested. I won't watch it. I'm done.
No, I still stick with that recommendation I gave you the other day because it's just one season at the minute, so it's only like 12.
Which one was that? Jujutsu?
Yep.
Jujutsu Kaisen. Everyone keeps telling me Baki's good. Something on Netflix.
Oh, I've not heard of that one.
Yeah, that one must be interesting. I watched Arcane.
Loved it.
Really good.
I don't play League though, but I love that show.
Never played League.
I've
watched
never
the
played
show.
League.
Loved it.
I take like pride in saying that I've not played that game.
Do you know what? So here's the thing. I think I would play all of those games if they simply allowed me to use my controller. I can't. I'm a caveman. It's too daunting to me. The mouse and keyboard. I'm still like, no. I've got a gaming setup. I've got a computer, but I'm like, no, we're not there yet. One day. But yeah, I just can't. I want the League of Legends fighting game though. That looks cool.
I'll have to have a look at that.
Yeah, it's called Project L, which is obviously such a creative name.
Very well done, Riot Games.
Exactly. Probably a work in progress. Maybe not. Who knows?
Oh yeah, what you were saying about mouse and keyboard, like because I've always been console gamer until 18 months ago, and I was like, right, that's it. I'm just gonna, because first thing I did when I got PC was try to do PvP with a controller, and oh my god, I got thumped.
Is it that bad?
I was like, they are so fast. Like I cannot be fast enough with a controller. So so I'd said to my partner, because he's been PC gaming for forever, and I was like, I need you to teach me.
Train me.
Need you. Yeah. So it was even just getting my hand in the right position on the keyboard to be able to like use Control Shift, the like WASD and the rest of it, just getting my hand to be comfortable. It took like a good 6 months, and even now, I'm still not brilliant at mouse and keyboard, but I'm like, but now it feels weird going back to controller. I'm like,
I was about to ask that. Yeah,
I'm just mediocre at both.
Are you locked in now? Is it just like?
Yeah. I do go back to console, but I don't think I could play PvP on a console now. like I can play RPGs
Yeah.
and things like that, no worries, but no, I don't think I'd be able to go back to PvP on a console after doing PvP on PC for so long, because like in 18 months I've sank 2,000 hours into a game.
Yeah.
It's like it's like muscle memory. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna stick with this now. Like, what am I gonna do? Plug my keyboard into my PlayStation to play on my...
You know what? You never know.
But yeah.
What's your next game, or what's your next few games?
So Horizon Forbidden West will be the next one on the 17th. Pokemon Arceus will be on that list, and Destiny 2 Witch Queen. They'll be the three, and they are either out or out this month. So it's like, well, that's the rest of the year written off. I've been looking at Elden Ring. I've been toying with the idea of Elden Ring, but
is it not grabbing you?
Oh, I've got too much trauma from like the Blood Souls series. Like,
yeah.
It's just, yeah.
I think it's a game I'd like to play to say I've played it, but I know after that I'll be like, this isn't for me.
Yeah, it's I if someone like was like, oh, like I've got it, you can borrow it, and I'd be like, all right, I'll borrow it. Like, you know how like you used to have like Global Video and you could like rent a game for 3 days? Why don't they do that anymore?
And the crazy thing is, for gamers, that is enough. If I'm not disturbed, 3 days is enough.
It is
fine.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And the
because
worst
that's enough to sink like at least 20 hours if you do 3 days non-stop, like easy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I wish you could have that, like still have trials of games before you buy them.
Amazing. I think I sunk on Arceus for the first day. I got it digital. It's the first game I've ever digitally pre-ordered in my life. Waited until midnight, still wasn't available. I was getting really scared, but like 3 minutes passed, it was ready. I was like, great. I was like, let me just try it for an hour, go to sleep. I've got work. 2-3 hours later, I really need to go to sleep. It hit 6 a.m. and I was like, why not just stay up? So played it for like 8.5 hours, showered, got ready for work, finished work, continued playing it. By the time it hit like Saturday, I'd sunk like 20 hours into this game already. So I'm about 24.
Yeah, solid
about
effort.
24. Yeah, 24 to 28 hours now at the moment. I'd say it's fun. I won't spoil it for you because it's something you're looking to get.
No, I definitely will be. But no, I like seeing all of the positive things that people are saying, because everyone's like, I'm not going to spoil it, but it's great. Like, that's all I need to know.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. That's all I can say. My next game after this as well, compared to your mature list, my games for January were Arceus, and then in March, I'm looking forward to Kirby. I don't know why, but an open world Kirby, or open zone.
Could get on board with that.
Yeah, and it's just calming. You know, there's periods where like life's been stressful. I've been thinking of this and that. I just want to run around with this overweight character eating food. It's basically me playing as me in a game, so I'm just like, why not? So I'm all here for it.
Yeah, Kirby is my spirit animal, not gonna lie.
He's a child as well. Surprisingly.
Yeah, I think it's because we've grown up with them for so long. Just like doesn't really cross your mind that they're just a child.
Yeah. You're like, no, but surely he's 36 now and he's got 2 kids. And apparently it's not the case. Apparently, it's a Freudian slip right there.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, it's been it's been good. Just kind of one, talking about games in general, and two, I suppose just getting your perspective on things that I don't really consider, or maybe I consider, but I don't see them like you see them. Obviously, I'm not a woman, but it's 2022, so you never know what's around the corner.
Absolutely. And like, because like with my Instagram page, like the majority of people that follow me are men, but the majority of people that I follow are women. So it's like, I'm very keen on seeing the female gamers and female content creators of the community, and it's awesome. And like, I think like things have progressed like so much, like, because like I've been gaming for a long enough time, but it's just like, I'm like, it's been long enough. Like, I've seen the changes throughout it. Tell you what, the biggest change is when I changed my username, because they don't know what my gender is. it's just a whole mystery
That's the
until
point.
they get my Instagram or my Twitch. Then
Mm.
they're like, oh damn.
Mm.
But
Like
I
a
think
bonus.
sometimes they're like, oh, I'm going to jump on her Twitch and ask when she's releasing an OnlyFans. The answer to that is never. There will not be an OnlyFans.
I
It's
feel
not
that's a
going.
question females get a lot these days.
It is, yeah. It's like, oh, when's the OnlyFans coming out? And I'm like, it's not, man.
You know what? So when I was younger, I was very quick to label females as whores. And this is not something that I'm saying was right, but I was very much, oh, she's all on Instagram showing this. Oh, she's just being a whore for this, and she's just getting views. And the older I get, you go through your own things in life, whether it's your journeys with your mental health, being stressed, being depressed, journeys with your own image, being insecure, you know, which I think a lot of females kind of dust over that or don't believe that it's as big an issue as guys, which I think it is. And guys, obviously, we don't have, although we live in a modern age where you can do anything, for the most part, old school heterosexual men, let's say, you're not going to put makeup on or something. You know, if you feel ugly one day, that's it. You're just ugly. That's it. So, you know, but being my age now, going through different things, I'm looking at things with a different light now. And now I'm, you know, I'll be on Instagram and I'll see, you know, maybe a girl in her bikini or whatever. And surprisingly, my thought now isn't she should make an OnlyFans. My thought is, good for her. Look at her, just confident. Like, how nice for her, you know. So yeah, it's good.
That's awesome. No, I think that's a great thing.
I think there's
like you say,
it's
a difference. Oh,
yeah.
There's a line. There is a line, but no, I know exactly what you mean. Like saying, and it's nice just for women to be confident and be themselves, and people not say like, oh well, you're this and you're that and the other, and making assumptions and things. Like it's just, it's really nice to see how, and also when there is negative comments in the community, how other women or like and friends of mine, male or female, rally together and are very protective and very supportive, and that's the kind of thing that you need. It's having like a strong support network, and I think the gaming community is perfect for that, because I think we're all like kind of those people at school, and it's like, oh, they're such nerds, they're this and they're that, and it's like, yeah, but now we're just an army of nerds.
Yeah, now we're a team.
We're a team. Exactly.
No, I get that. There was, in fact, someone on my Instagram lately, and so I'm one of those people famous for having like, well, not famous because I think I'm the only one who knows, but I have like 1,000 Instagram accounts. I'm one of those people in life who will start a new project and 2 days later start another one, then 10 years later look back on all of them and wonder how come none of them went anywhere. So I've got one Instagram just for poetry, and there's someone I follow on there, and their content is just great, really deep, really heartfelt. You know, it's like coming from experiences, stuff like that. So I follow their stuff. Then they've got their own private page, which is just a day in the life. This is my family. This is my son. This is me. She might be attractive, and I might enjoy seeing the pictures of just her. You know, I'll be honest. But then she's got she done like a, not OnlyFans. She joined the Suicide Girls lately. For a split second, I was going to pretend, but I didn't know what that was. But I did. Suicide Girls.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I was trying to be nice for a second. I was like, no, let's just be honest. But yeah, I'm sure you know it's. Would you say for alternative female models?
Yeah, I was going to say it's for alt females. Like it's with the tattoos and the piercings and the big curves and all of that stuff. And it's. Yeah,
I love that description, the big curves, and you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that there's no skinny models on there. They're all beautiful, curvy, alternative women with all the different hairstyles, the piercings, the tattoos. They've all got like their little quirks, and they're all different, and they're really sexy. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I was actually, instead of, I suppose, where the old me would have been like, oh gosh, look at her, what she's doing. She's, you know, she's a whore, she's this. And again, I don't say that because it's right. I'm just being honest with a person I was previously. And I looked at it and I was just like, I'm glad she's confident enough to do that. And that was genuinely my first thought. I was like, well,
yeah, that's awesome. Good for her.
Yeah. because
congratulations.
Exactly, because it's very easy for me to say, well, look at you doing that, but I am not confident enough to do that. There's no way I'd put myself on Insta with, first off, I guarantee no one wants to see that. I wouldn't want to do it either. So, if someone does, hey, good for you.
Yeah,
and to be fair, for people insulting you, everyone's watching you. They're like, look at her, look at such a whore. Look at that angle. Oh, she's filthy. Like, why are you looking? Why are you?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just like they just want to get geared up over something. It's just the world of trolls and keyboard warriors, I guess. Like I've had some encounters with men who I've like thought that I was friends with, and then it's come down to like a discussion about something where we mildly disagree, and then the things that I said, and it's like, oh wow, okay, if that's how you want to be, see later.
It's a crazy one though.
It is crazy, it is for sure. But yeah, like I said, like I'm very, very lucky to be surrounded with so many good people that just and they're all funny, they're all supportive, they're all just great people. It's I feel like I've been very lucky, like coming into it and like knowing a couple of people that are in the community to like know where to start. Because I think that if I'd done it without that, I would have probably, because I do have a thick skin, like to an extent, like a lot of like there's a lot of things that just like slide straight off my back, and I'm like, oh, whatever. But I feel like it could have gotten me down, and it could have discouraged me, and I'm glad that I didn't. Like that's not happened to me, and I've been very lucky with that, with the people that I've met here. But yeah, I think that's the main thing. It's who you surround yourself with and the people you surround yourself with, and then you see different opinions and different ideas and different views and different beliefs and things, and it's like honestly, I can't express enough how amazing it is, like the online community, like especially for gaming and tech. It's great.
No, I agree with that. I think you do get to experience a lot of different perspectives. I think one thing that I'll say I hate about this generation is everyone in every community wants to feel 100% supported within the context of their own opinions. And, it is very much a place of let someone be curious, let someone ask questions, let someone, for example, I always ask my female friends loads of questions because I don't know what it's like being a female. You can't just dictate how someone should view something. So very much like you said, it is you get a lot of opinions. But yeah, me talking about opinions on people in 2022 is a whole different topic. But, I could feel myself about to go into it, and I was like, no, that's not what we're discussing today.
That's a whole other episode, isn't it?
Whole nother episode, whole nother series.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I think it's been great. We've got a lot of opinions, a lot of feedback, and we've got to get to know you a little, because we don't really speak offline, to be fair. Very, very, very rare.
I know it's I need to make more of an effort as well, because I've been like so busy with like the real world and work and moving house and things.
The real world
and, like,
versus virtual.
Yeah, literally, like it's like I've like just with work, I've moved house, like I've got a new job, and there's like so much stuff that's been going on, and then I'm like, oh my god, like I've not looked at Discord in days, like my Instagram, like I've not posted in ages, like I've not like looked at anyone's stories to see like how they are and and it's like, and then you've been off Instagram for a little while, and then it's like, oh man, like it's like trying to keep up with everything, and I'm like, oh my god, real life shouldn't be so hard. I just want to be a kid again. Like
I know, and I thought I had it. I thought I had so much trouble as a kid. I was like, I can't wait to be grown, and then I'll have all my money and I can do whatever I want. And then you grow up and you're like,
know you were born.
Yeah.
Didn't know you were born.
Yeah. Whole different world. But
absolutely.
Rachel, where can everyone find you? What are you doing at the moment? Where can everyone find you? Where can everyone catch you?
You can catch me on Instagram at instagram.com/talkquirky to me with an underscore at the end, because it was taken by someone. I actually messaged her, I messaged her and asked if I could have it without the underscore. She didn't get back to me.
And, well, yeah, my friend.
Yeah, I know. And then I'm on Twitch, twitch.tv/talkquirky to me _ again. And they're my two main platforms at the minute. I do have a Twitter, but it is not used. So main places, Twitch and Insta.
Cool. So yeah, Rachel Games on Twitch, mostly of Destiny at the moment.
Yeah, mostly.
And yeah, it's always up for conversations and such on Insta. I'm just like flooding your socials now, so everyone go talk to her. But yeah, yeah.
You did that straight away. You're like, she's hot. And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, I'll follow. Yeah. But we've established there is not an OnlyFans. There's no nudes people, so you know,
no,
bring the numbers up and bring them back down. They don't know.
I know. I'll be like, oh, I got like so many followers. Oh, they've all unfollowed me. Oh.
But you know, if people ask for it, I might start my own OnlyMans. You know, you guys let me know. Get cancelled in a day. But no, other than that, yeah, it's been really good. So go check out Rachel or go check out Talk Quirty. Yeah, that is it. I'm out. It's been fun. Peace. You dig?